Thank you. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Give me more love. Good morning. Okay, that's better. I feel it better. Okay. So, again, my name is Jean-Robert Lafortune. I've been living in Miami since 1980. So I'm one of the old dogs in the community in terms of experience, in terms of many things that I've seen happen. And it is a privilege for me today to be your guest. And I will do my best to cast or to give you a clear picture of Haiti, my homeland. Haiti, that was the name that the Arawaks Indian gave it to that land. In the Indian language, it means country with high mountains. That was way before Columbus, that way before the West discovered that island. It was in 1492 that Columbus, or Cristobal Colon, as the Spaniard called him, that Haiti discovered him. He did not discover Haiti. The Indian discovered him because he was lost in the ocean. In fact, he thought he was in the East India when he got to Haiti. And the Indians were also surprised to see him as well. So anyway, his motive was not pure, as many Western that who have discovered the Americas, because that he discovered a gold in the island. So the Spaniard become very quickly, what you call, enmeshed to get as more gold as possible to send to the Queen of Spain and Italy. So when Columbus get to the island has about 500,000 people, and in less than 100 years, that those Indians were basically wiped out because of the disease that brought by the Europeans, by the Spaniards, and also forced labor in the mines. The Indian, basically, they are peaceful people. They didn't choose to work 12 hours, 18 hours a day in the mine. But the more gold that was being sent to Spain, the more gold the Spanish government wanted to have. So there was that frenziness. So from Haiti, Columbus went to Mexico, to South America, so on and so forth. So that's how we got the Spanish conquest around the Americas. In 1502, the Europeans brought in the first slaves from Africa in order to replace the Indians, because the Spaniards found the Indians were too weak to produce, to dig the mines. And because they were exposed to the African way of doing things, so they felt that the African would be much more appropriate. So that's how we get the Spaniard going to pay what you call Arabs or Muslims to invade to buy Africans, slaves, and then bring them to the new land. Haiti, as you know, is divided, or Hispaniola. In fact, we don't call it Hispaniola. The Europeans call it Hispaniola. Columbus called it Hispaniola because that island reminded him the beauty of Spain in 1492. In fact, in his writings, Columbus mentioned that that island is so beautiful, nothing in Spain can be compared to Hispaniola. Hispaniola in Spanish means Little Spain. So we Haitians, we don't call it Hispaniola, we call it Haiti, because it is the name that the ancestors, whether it is the Indian or the Africans, they call it Haiti. That would be A-Y-I-T-I, Haiti. That land, Haiti, during the 17th century, became the prize that European powers, European superpowers, will fight for in order to gain control. For instance, the English, the British troops, they occupied Port-au-Prince for about 15 years. We had to fight to kick them out of Haiti. The Spanish, they occupied Haiti for many years. So were the French. And in 1791, there was an event that happened. It was a slave congress. It was a Maroon Congress where all those Creole and also slaves from Africa, they met one night in August 23rd, 1791. And they summoned the ancestors from Africa because so many people were dying and also they were tired of living in slavery. So they put in motion a plan to repel or to kick out the French colonists from the islands. And probably some of you have heard Reverend Pat Robertson mention that Haiti is like it is today is because that we made a pact with the devil. He is referring basically to that event in August 23, 1791, whereby we have a slave who was from Jamaica. His name was Duty Bookman. Duty Bookman was transferred to Haiti, so he could be broken down. At that time, Haiti was that place in the Americas or in the Caribbean where a slave who could not be broken down from Jamaica, from Martinique, from everywhere in the Caribbean. Haiti was the land that they bring them in because it was hell on earth. It was on that land that they bring them so they can break down the spirit. For many years, the French colonists was able to break down the body of the slave, but the idea of freedom, they could not break that down. And that man, Bookman Duty, he was the one that as a priest, he summoned his people, then where they basically made the commitment to each other that today begin the times of freedom for Creole slaves and black slaves. And what happened that night, they put fires from the Orient to the Occident in the islands. It was something that was never experienced before by French colonists. At that time, during that period, many French, fearing for their lives, they headed to New Orleans. Some head to New Orleans, some to Cuba. Some went back home in France. From 1791 to 1801, to 1803, about 15 years, Maroon slaves that refused to live in slavery and black slaves who ran away from their masters, they organized themselves in the mountains of Haiti and they waged a 15-year war against France. At that time, France, under Napoleon Bonaparte, had the best army in the world. It was at the time that France was conquering countries after countries in Europe. And when he sent his expedition in 1801 to quell the Haitian Revolution, Napoleon Bonaparte, the French emperor, mentioned to many of his colleagues, whether it is the British, who were his former enemies, America, and also Spain, he said that the expedition that I'm sending to the Caribbean in order to vanquish the slave in Saint-Domingue or to vanquish the army in Saint-Domingue, the slave army, this is a way to protect the European civilization against the barbarity of the black slaves who think that they can win their freedom under our regime. He mentioned very well that that war is going to be very significant, or the outcome of that war, the outcome of the expedition will be very significant for the future of Europe itself. And believe it or not, he was right. He was right because the fact that we Haitians or our ancestors were able to vanquish that army who conquers many countries in Europe, an expedition of 18,000 men, they were sent to Haiti so that they could re-establish slavery in that land. And the fact that we were able to vanquish that army and directly and also indirectly, we save, the Haitian Revolution saved America from becoming what you call under the French domination. Thomas Jefferson, in his writings, mentioned that when he learns about the French expedition coming to Haiti, he mentioned in his writing that if the French army succeed to vanquish the Haitian army, the next step of Napoleon Bonaparte is to head to Louisiana and occupy, because at that time Louisiana was France, under French control, but they never took possession of New Orleans and Louisiana. And the secret plan of Napoleon was to head to New Orleans, take Louisiana, and make his conquest towards North America with the aim of joining Canada and the US under his control. Not too many people give what you call respect to our revolution. The Haitian Revolution is the only revolution that proclaims the universal freedom of men. In 1789, there was the French Revolution. The French Revolution did not recognize equal rights for women. We know that in 1776, there is also the American Revolution. The American Revolution was about tax, because the people that were born here, they refused to pay the fair share of tax to the English crown. We have also the Bolshevik Revolution. The Bolshevik Revolution, it was about the class interest. The Haitian Revolution proclaims the freedom for everybody, regardless of sex, color, or ethnicity. And for this reason, for many years, the West has basically isolated the island nation of Haiti, because we were the bad example for the Western economy. During the 18th, 17th century, Haiti contributed 42% to the French economy. The balance of trade, it was under our shoulder in Haiti. So it is quite normal that when Napoleon lost Haiti, that loss was going to have also an economic impact on France. That economic impact was so severe that Napoleon Bonaparte was for in order to raise funds, in order to raise money, so he could continue his conquest of in the war in Europe. He sold Louisiana to the U.S. in 1803. So it is that sale of Louisiana for about 50 cents an acre that contributes to make America a continental power. America overnight become double of its size, and that's how we got that conquest of Lewis and Clark for the West. All these, so America became not only bigger but also richer with natural resources from Louisiana. And the Louisiana that we're talking about the whole Mississippi River all the way to the west. We're not talking about that little Louisiana with New Orleans today. We're talking about the larger Mississippi area. So that Haitian revolution, as Napoleon Bonaparte put it, he said that he was going to decide on the future of the West. And it did. The Haitian revolution not only protected America from a possible takeover of France, but also it spread the emancipation movement in Latin America. For instance, somebody like Simon Bolivar, some of you may know or may not know, Simon Bolivar, when he began his conquest to free Latin America in order to kick the Spanish crown out, he went to Haiti. And the president of Haiti not only gave him weapons, money, but also we gave Simon Bolivar men. We gave him veterans of the Haitian Revolution to help him kick out the Spanish authorities, the Spanish crown in Latin America. And at that time, and also because of the high exodus of French colonists to Louisiana, to New Orleans, counting the horrible experience they had in Saint-Domingue. Saint-Domingue, that was the name, the previous name of Haiti. The French call it Saint-Domingue. When they came to Louisiana, and the story was so horrible, then what you have is the colonists, the slave owners in the South, began to think very hard about the slavery condition they had in the South. Somebody like President Jefferson was so horrified of the Haitian Revolution. He was the one who first imposed an economic embargo on Haiti, with the aim of isolating Haiti economically and also politically. So some of you that were always wondering why Haiti is the way that it is today, why is it the poorest nation in the West? We have become, we feel that we are taking on our shoulder a very big burden, the burden of the black race to fight for its freedom, to live in dignity, to live as free men. And for doing that, we pay that price imposed on us by the West. In 1828 or in the 1830s, what France done, they came to Haiti and they tried to basically hijack the country. They imposed to the Haitian government at that time a war, what you call a, you know that when you lose the war, you're supposed to go away, but France, even though that they lose the war, they come back for reparation. They say that their ancestors left a lot of wealth in Haiti, so they are coming back to reclaim those wealth, and they impose a ransom of $150 million to that actual government. So The Haitian government has to spend over 100 years to pay up that debt to France. That amount is equivalent today to $21 billion. So again, why Haiti is so poor today? Because many of our wealth, many of the sacrifice for our independence, we had to pay that debt to France. Later on, what we have also in Haiti is what you call that disparate ethnic politics between mulattoes and black. The first emperor of the country, in 1804, when you become independent, we did not have a republic, we had rather an empire. It was 2 years later that we became a republic. Emperor Dessalines, who is the liberator of Haiti, he was black, and also there is also the mulatto groups. He has after the independence, there was that discussion, political discussions, in terms of the legitimacy of the wealth of the country. Do they belong to the mulattoes, or do they belong to the African majority of the country? The first emperor could not, what you call, was trying to create a consensus where part of the wealth of the country should go to the mulattoes. The mulattoes are the mixed color of people, black and French people. And we have the black majority from Africa, and also who were born in the country itself, in Haiti itself. In about 2 years after his government, Dessalines was killed because the mulattoes refused to share the wealth of the country with the black majority. They claim that the wealth of the country was left by the ancestors from France, so therefore by blood, they want to claim all the wealth. And we have the black majority said, so we are the one that who shed our blood to win the independence for the island. So there is no question of sharing that wealth with you, because you already have your wealth already. So then Dessalines asked, so what's going to happen to the black majority of the country? It is that question that we have hanging over us since 1804 that make it very difficult for us to, to coexist. And until today, we have not been able to respond to that question as a community, as a nation, or as a society. So within Haiti, we have that discordance, we have that dysfunctionality of governments, and 75% of the Haitian governments, they were controlled by mulattoes. It's only recently, from the 1940s, we estimate, then we start to have black or African, let's say black, Haitian black presidents. So now we jump on to the new reality that we are facing today. And also, before I jump in there, I also must mention, some of you may know or may not know, from 1915 to 1939, the country was occupied by the United States Navy. And the same way that we see that Western forces, when they occupy some countries, in order to put the economic or political interests as priority, we had also that same experience from 1915 to 39 in Haiti, because with the Monroe Doctrine stating America to Americans, and there was a lot of political upheaval in Haiti, so we had that occupation. That military occupation ended because Haitians could not tolerate the domination of the country by the United States. But when the US left in 1939, they left an army that was loyal to their interest, not loyal to the interest of Haitian people. And it is that army that basically was behind many what you call political upheaval that translated into Haitian exodus in the 1970s and 80s, where we have mass migration, both people from the countryside coming to America seeking a better environment to live. Now, some of you probably from the press, you have heard about Aristide in the 1990s, and it is one of the most controversial figures in Haiti politics. Aristide, during his first term, had the ability to bring Haiti to that next level of modernization, to that level of what you call consensus between the ethnic groups or between the social classes, because Haiti is a society that is heavily stratified between the elite and the mass and the middle class. In Haiti, like in here, we have two societies evolving side by side. We have the Haitian elite, who don't care much about what's going on to the majority of the population. And we have the majority of the population who do not care much what the elite is doing. What we know, and also that's also happening right here in South Florida. For instance, we have a community with 30 years. We have gone through many, many crises of Haitian boat capsizing in high seas. Probably some of you've heard a couple of years ago of the coast of Turks and Caicos. That boat that was May 4, 2007, a boat capsized and many of those people, they were eaten by sharks. They had to recover bodies with missing limbs, missing feet, missing heads, so on and so forth. It is a very terrible story. Even though that we are facing this kind of crisis, that Haitian elite in here in South Florida, they have not reached out to see what can they do to help. It is that same situation in Haiti. We have horrible social situation in Haiti, but that elite doesn't care. And with the event that happened on January 12, what we start to observe, some segment of that Haitian elite finally starting to reach out. Because with that earthquake that hits the homeland on the 12th, both rich and poor were under the rubbles. It was an equal opportunity. And those elites, they were saved under the rubbles by the poor Haitians. And today many wonder what is now, what's happening to Haiti. On the second day of that earthquake, the United States Army embarked in Port-au-Prince, and in order to help Haiti facing that horrible situation, that cataclysm, the Haitian president was summoned to the Toussaint Louverture Airport by the United States Army or forces in order to sign on the airport to US interest. I cannot fathom that our government that we claim to be a democrat or a democracy, in order to help a poor nation facing a cataclysm, they have to summon the president to give away the landing rights of the airport to the US. This is not acceptable. And as a result, what happened with that situation is many European nations, many Latin American nations who brought assistance to Haiti during the first 72 hours of the earthquake, those nations, the planes were returned because the US Army was not allowing anybody to land in. That was the first 72 hours. But the next, what you call it, by 2 weeks, after 2 weeks of the earthquake, what we have seen is the 82nd Airborne in total control of Haiti today. And I had an opportunity to be in a conference call with officials of the White House, Department of Homeland Security, about 2 weeks ago, and I asked them, we cannot tolerate, and I tell them frankly, I tell them what I feel. I do not hide my feelings. I told them it was intolerable that there are 13,000 US troops on their boat in the Bay of Port-au-Prince. Then we have the Haitian population dying basically because people are having no water, many people under the rubbles, and then we have 13,000 troops sitting on the ship, on the boat. What's the story? What's the rationale? What they said was that the conditions were not safe enough to deploy the US forces on the ground. Now there is approximately 20 to 30,000 US troops in Haiti. Only 5 to 10,000 are deployed on the ground. And basically what they are trying to do, I don't know what kind of intelligence that they have. They believe that Haitians will be taken to the flimsy boats trying to reach Florida. So what they are trying to do is try to do what the Bush doctrine about preemption. That preemptive doctrine is still present under Obama. Because they lack intelligence, they don't know what's going on in the country. They believe that in the middle of that earthquake, they believe that there will be a Haitian exodus leaving Haiti, coming to Florida. And we told them time and time again, this is not an issue. This is a moot issue for Haitians. We had made some analysis of Haitian exodus for the past 30 years, and what we have discovered is Haitians, the Haitian mass exodus, they are connected with political upheaval, political turmoil in the country, not by economic hardship. Haiti has always been poor. We know how to cope with economic misery because we always had a poor country. The mass exodus are triggered by political instability, where there is widespread killings nationwide. Those are the factors that motivate that fuel exodus. And also the Congressional Service Report for the U.S. Congress has reached the same conclusion as myself, who conducted that study, that the major thing that fuel exodus, it is politics. So we are here today, and there is the task of rebuilding a nation. And what many Haitian leaders are wondering now, what kind of Haiti we want to rebuild. From the observation of the scientists, Port-au-Prince is seated under the fault line of the Irinkio plate under the earth. In recent, the last time Port-au-Prince had a severe earthquake was in 1761. So 1761 up to today, those kind of information has disappeared in the collective consciousness. This information has disappeared in our mind, in our soul. So now we are tasked of rebuilding Port-au-Prince. And at the same time, we also want to be, we raise that question, who will rebuild Port-au-Prince for us? There are some aspects that we are in disagreement with the administration, but also there are aspects that we are also in agreement with them. We had the opportunity to meet with Vice President Biden about 3 weeks ago in Little Haiti. And the emphasis that he placed was Haiti must be rebuilt by Haitians. Haiti must be rebuilt by Haitians. We know very much the resources of multi-corporation, of the multi-international corporations, the ability to come in a town, then overnight build you a town. We are not interested in the rebuilding of a town, but we Haitians, we are interested in rebuilding a nation. Because the cataclysm that happened destroyed the holy place that Haitians have known for the past 150 years. The National Cathedral collapsed along with the Archbishop that was in there. The Haiti's National Palace, it's about 50% destroyed. All the government buildings are out of commissions. And we have also many towns, not only Port-au-Prince. Probably if you look at the TV, you will see all those things they are focusing on Port-au-Prince. The reality is 75% of the country has been destroyed. Only the northern part of the country was escaped from that earthquake. The south, southeast, the west, the central plateau, all those things have been destroyed. There are survivors who have seen so much horrible things. They are killing themselves. What they have seen, they cannot support it. They are killing themselves, those people that will survive that earthquake. And we owe it to about 500,000 people who perish. To build a better nation, to build a better place where we can live at peace. Because we have not been a peaceful country for over 200 years. We are hoping that we are seeking a consensus at the level of Haitian diaspora. We are trying to bring all the sectors together to see if we can reach that consensus and amend what we have done to each other. And it's not easy because there is so much things within that society. And we still believe there is a chance. There is a chance that there will be a transformation in rebuilding that country block by blocks, but also in the process to see a new man reborn in the mind, in the heart of each one of us. We are not sure what we are going to leave for our legacy, for those children who are coming behind us. What we know, 500 people, up to 500,000 people perish during that cataclysm. We owe it to them. You have seen on TV all those pageantry from CNN or ABC or what have you. They were able to save only 135 lives. We appreciate every little life that has been rescued. It's a way to show you, to tell you, to inform you, or to share with you that the government was able to count about 200,000 bodies. But there are many more bodies under those rubbles. I don't know if my time is up or if how long I have, Mr. Chair? 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
5 minutes. We'll have questions and answers then.
Okay. So in fact, what I've done, I don't like to talk about myself, but this is the reality. What I've done myself, 4 days after the earthquake, I sent a letter to the Organization of American States. I represent the Haitian-American Grassroots Coalition. That coalition is a group of 15 local groups, Haitian here and also New York. And we are a member of OAS as part of the civil registry for OAS. So what I've done was sending a letter to OAS so that they can convene a Haitian diaspora colloquium to get Haitians all over the world, all over the US, Canada, Europe, Dominican Republic, from the Caribbean, in a 2-day meeting in order to address issues related to the relief efforts in Haiti, and also working on a collective plan for reconstruction of Haiti. And what we have posed in principle is the need for Haiti to remain a sovereign nation, At this time, we have 13,000 UN troops in the island and 30,000 troops from US. And we may be on the verge of losing that nation if we don't step up, if we don't be proactive. So it is in that context that we asked OAS to convene that meeting, and in March, the whole Haitian diaspora, or the majority of the Haitian diaspora, will be meeting in Washington, D.C. in order to tackle those hard issues. And what we know is the multi-international corporations, we need assistance from them because they have the, what you call, the equipments, the know-how. But we Haitians, we want to be the one that who are giving them the guidance, who are giving them the directive to help us rebuild Haiti. And I know probably many of you have donated to that Haitian relief effort. We do thank you very much. And we don't know how long it will take. It may take 10 years, and make it 20 years, or maybe it is an endless mission to rebuild an old town. And we continue to count on your support in order to help rebuild that unique nation. There is only one Haiti in the world. No two, no three. And it is people like you that will inspire us to keep moving forward. Thank you very much.
Please mention the role Cuba played in helping Haiti. The American press do not mention Cuba.
In fact, hello, test, 1 2 1 2. Okay, okay. I'm going to speak a bit slower now. In fact, Cuba has been helping Haiti for many years. The Western's media outlet have not given fair coverage of the Cuba efforts of many Cuban physicians being deployed throughout the theater of the earthquake. And also, before the earthquake, constantly there are from 300 to 1,000 Cuban physicians living in very bad conditions in the poor areas of Haiti. I did not say Port-au-Prince. In the poor areas of Haiti, those areas are being neglected by the Haitian government themselves in terms of sending interns, medical interns, to those remote areas. Those interns don't want to go, but the Cuban doctors, they go in there and lend their expertise to the population. This before the earthquake.
Do you think Bill Clinton has Haiti's best interests at heart?
Oh la la. Wow. Bill Clinton said once, Haitians must learn to forget their past. And any policymakers who knows Haiti, and he's among them who know Haiti a lot. So if his opinion is we should forget our past, so therefore we can embrace his future. I'm talking about Clinton's future, because Clinton basically I've questioned, the same way that you question him, I've questioned his motive as well. In fact, if you go to my Facebook, you could see that one day that I asked that whether or not he has an overt and a covert mission in Haiti. And I believe that he has a covert mission in Haiti. In fact, he has become the de facto president of Haiti, because Ban Ki-moon, the U.S. Secretary General, has now appointed him, in addition to be the envoy of UN, but now Clinton is being tasked to oversee the reconstruction effort in Haiti. So this is somebody that we are putting a close watch on, and I'm not afraid to speak publicly about his mission in Haiti. And as far as I'm concerned, he is the tool being used by the international community in order to put a positive spins on what's going on in Haiti. Last year, the UN and him, they were successful in putting many spins to cast the current Haitian government as good or as excellent, taking the country in the positive path. The Preval government is one of the most incompetent and inept government in Haiti's modern history. And also, I'm very appalled to also inform you that the Obama administration wants to keep Preval in terms of moving forward with the politics in Haiti and also the reconstruction of Haiti.
So you do not believe that the American troops are there as humanitarians, but rather as an occupying force? Is that what you're suggesting? Not to be helpful?
If I believe the words of a U.S. ambassador who was posted in Port-au-Prince, he mentioned that in politics there are no friends. It's only about interest. It's only about interest. So I do not believe the deployment of U.S. forces down there are mainly for humanitarian purpose. And if they were present for humanitarian purpose, I believe that the deployment in the theater of the earthquake would not wait 2 weeks to occur. 2 weeks. And as I express myself, it pains me that when there are U.S. assets in the Bay of Port-au-Prince, then for 1 week you don't see any U.S. soldier going on the ground in Port-au-Prince to assist. It took them way too long to deploy their forces on the ground. And I do believe it was knowing the way the administration operates, they were paying more attention, or in their calculation, in their political analysis. They were more inclined to protect the water against the possibility of Haitian exodus taken to the sea than bringing assistance directly to the population. That was their motive. And also there is a widespread movement within the international community to erase Haiti's debt. And approximately it is $1.9 billion, combining IMF, the International Monetary Funds, IDB, the International Development Bank, and also the World Bank. This week, the United States Treasury Secretary admitted publicly, in fact, before Congress, that he believes that the reconstruction of Haiti should be done through grants instead of loans. So grants instead of loans. So if the administration can maintain this position and encourage other donor countries to do the same, to earmark grants towards the reconstruction of Haiti, I believe that will go a long way. And hopefully, and also one of the things that we want to ensure is the accountability and transparency of the Haitian government in terms of those monies being allocated for reconstruction. So many times, so many years, we have seen millions and billions disappeared. It's like there is a black hole in the government coffer. Whatever millions that you put in there, it just vanished. And this is one of the things that we in the diaspora are going to make sure that the government is in compliance in terms of transparency and accountability.
On behalf of the forum, it's been a pleasure meeting you. It's been a pleasure listening to someone who knows the history of Haiti, and you taught us a lot today. I want to thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.